Welcome to the Finding the Percent video. So hopefully you've watched the other videos to get some kind of concept. 5-1 and 5-2 to see what we're doing. We're just going to continue on that with finding the percent. Again, percents are out of 100. That's going to be important for us to solve these. We could use proportions or equations to help solve a problem. And in this example, I'm going to give you the part and the whole amount, and then you're going to tell me what percent the part is of the whole amount. Okay, and that's what we're going to be working on. Let's go over our first example. In our first example, we're going to be using equations to find our percent. So again, we have our is, which is our part. So remember, is associated with our part, and of is associated with our whole amount. That's going to be important when we're trying to figure out our equation. In order to find this, we want to turn our part, what part we have of the whole amount, and turn that into a percent. So in order to find that, we got to locate our part, which in my first example, 40 is what percent of 60. So once I locate what my part and my whole amount is, I'm going to then find out what percent that represents. So to do that, all I'm going to do is take the part, 40, divided by the whole amount, 60, and then multiply by 100. So I'm going to take the part, divided by the whole amount, and then times 100. The reason that I multiply by 100 is because it is trying to find the percent. When I do that, I get 66.6 repeating. So I'm just going to round that to the nearest tenth of a percent. So that would be 66.6%. Do not forget your label of percent on these examples. Okay, in example 2, what percent did you get on a quiz if you got 6 out of 8 questions correct? So 6 represents your part, 8 represents your whole amount. So all I'm going to do is take my part, 6, divided by my whole amount, and times 100. So now you guys know how to find your percent on your quiz scores and test scores. 6 divided by 8 times 100 equals 75. So that would be 75%. And that's how we're going to use an equation to find our percent. Okay, I'm going to move on to example 2. And in example 2, we're going to be using proportions to find our percent. Remember, proportions are percent over 100 equals our part over our whole amount. So when we write these, we're going to take a percent, what percent, that's unknown. So I'm going to do n over 100 equals 19 over 25. In order to solve this, I multiply 19 times 100, which is 1900. Then I divide by 25. 1900 divided by 25 is going to be 76. This is asking for what percent, so my answer would be 76%. Don't forget that percent sign on percent problems. Okay, and number 4, 28 out of 40 students are in PE, so 28 is my part, 40 is my whole amount, so I'm going to do n over 100 equals 28 over 40. There's my proportion. Now I'm going to solve it. So I do 28 times 100, which is 2800. And then I divide by 40. 2800 divided by 40 equals 70. So 70% wore Nike shoes. 70% is my answer. Okay, if you need to go back and watch anything again, go ahead. Otherwise, have a great day.